Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we kick this off officially, I do want to point out to the audience that we welcome questions. Please utilize the Q&A section in the bottom of your screen, type in questions as they come up, and we will address those at the conclusion. So it's now my great pleasure to turn this over to Anup Bhatia, CEO of Nowigence. Anup, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kelly, and let me just project the presentation. 1 second. Hello, everybody. My name is Anup Bhatia. I founded the company Nowigence Inc. Very early at the time when AI was just emerging and research papers had just got, the first ever research papers were written. We're an AI as a service. We focus on the AI software side and have been developing our products with a focus on extractive AI, which bring efficiency, productivity, and innovation for the clients that we serve. We're a New York-based C corporation. There are many challenges with AI adoption. It's a fragmented ecosystem, just too many apps. Even when you look at LLMs, you've got OpenAI, Gemini, Cloud, NVIDIA, NeMo, DeepSeek, just a lot of different products in the marketplace, too many vendors. And even when you look into the next derivative software apps that are coming up derived from the APIs of the LLM systems, they're just too many vendors. So what it does cause is it does cause a slower adoption rate at the corporation. And coupled to this complex vendor systems, we also have high GPU cost. And even the LLMs are trying to optimize, like we know that the Copilot has been predominantly developed in order to provide results at a very optimized cost point. The cheapest models are first being used to see whether they can satisfy the answers before the more energy expending or GPU processing models are adopted to answer any questions. So it does have a high operational cost. And when you look at this young emerging field, the skill set is also relatively young, inexperienced to develop enterprise level products. So it does paint a picture that we are in an early tech with some challenges, but also these challenges are now working at a certain accelerated speed to present very cost-effective solutions to the market. And the market needs AI, and we'll come to this point also, probably the last slide, where it makes it kind of mandatory for you to invest in AI at the stage that we are in. The market opportunity is very big. We've got about $136 billion of established market, mostly in the GPU infrastructure. You can see the NVIDIA P&L statement to say that, companies as well as the Magnificent Seven, they are buying infrastructure they have contracts with NVIDIA for over a period of 5 years. And so you know that AI is coming into virtually every process that we currently have for the reasons that I mentioned earlier, which is efficiency, productivity, and innovation. So with the software, so once you have the GPU infrastructure market, but then the software side is going to grow. And that's where the projected CAGR is, that is going to grow at a 37% level, giving you a potential market value of 1.8 trillion by 2030. So who are we? Just to kind of recap for you, we're an AI enterprise app developers and sellers. And we have developed 2 apps. Our apps are on a revenue model which says pay on usage basis. The products and services that we currently are developing or selling is a product called researchwork.ai, which is our own proprietary app. And it is being developed as an index library of ideas, which kinds of overcomes the rhetoric that we have against the LLM models on privacy, copyright protection, bibliography, etc. So it does provide the full traceability of the idea from where it is extracted. The second app that we have developed is what we did under a revenue stream that we call as customer funded app development. And we developed a creative storytelling app for our customer, which is guppytheater.com. Both these apps are at the final stages and should be launched in that period between July to August. And definitely the third part of our revenue service is also the associated service, the annual license fee, because whether it's our own product or whether we are developing products for our customers, we've got to maintain and upgrade. So there is a small component of services that are also involved with these products, part of it. Now, before I go further, I also want to kind of highlight a point saying that in retrospect, when we look at companies like Google, then Google brought search to the world. Search was free, and it basically made us spend time to get search. And if we look at the current market, then AI has definitely made search automated, and we don't need to go and search. There is an efficiency factor where search is being brought to us, the search results are being brought to us, and we are willing to pay a subscription for it. So that is one idea that you should hold in your mind. But the second idea also is that there were many companies which were in the field of information retrieval at the time when Google was coming up. There was Microsoft, there was Yahoo, but Google had the best indexing of keywords, which was allowing very good search results to be presented to the users. And they used the technical platforms in order to get the reviews during those days. The users were able to give them thumbs up on the indexing that they were doing on keywords. So ultimately, quality and the fact that you were able to get the information, the right information at that time, helped them to monetize Google through advertising dollars. In our case, we are monetizing Nowigence through an efficiency, productivity, and an innovation factor where people pay for the index library of ideas, not keywords. So let's spend a little more time on Research AI Agent, the researchwork.ai, which is our proprietary product. It goes and auto-reads documents as they are published. Its focus is on extractive AI, not generative AI. We are not talking about, hey, how do I write the best composition? But we do want to go very deep with the ideas that have got established in whatever topic we want to research or we want to talk about. And we want to extract, index it, classify it, make sure that we don't have deduplicates of the ideas in our repository. And we want to create the full traceability of these ideas, the copyright protection, give you the privacy of your own search, where we are not using your inputs to further train our machine. And following the GDPR, the SOC 2 requirements, whatever are the compliance measures that we have to adopt at this moment of time. But the product, like the LLM, has a deep research agent, it's got a chat agent, and whenever you think that you need to do an in-depth study, it basically leads you to the section of that documents from thousands of documents that are available from where the idea was extracted so that you can evaluate if there's a gap between the idea, the machine grasped idea, and your own human intelligence. So it tells you that the product is automated, but there's a human in the loop approach. And with the way that we basically uh, look at our IT infrastructure between CPUs and GPUs, we're giving you a very cost optimal solution to speed up innovation at your companies. So let's look at where the features that I mentioned in the last slide, how do they what is the positioning that we have? So we've got a very cost efficient, small language model that works for you. Your literature, which may be available with you, or the literature that you research on a daily basis from the web, we're able to bring it all together. And there is a high-speed indexing. There is a chatbot available, very similar, where you can chat. You can make sure that the entire library of indexed ideas that you have has no hallucination, has full traceability. It's completely extractive AI. The idea extractor has got no deduplicates, it's hallucination free, and it's private for you. And it works for the data that you have inside the company. It's generated by you on a day-to-day basis, or the one that you use, which has been produced in an external environment in the web for you. And that also brings ideas into your company. We can very well encompass that entire gamut of sources. So we look at who's the target customer profile for it. So any company that has data that needs reasoning, that needs to index their ideas so that they spend less time searching, but more time executing upon it, benchmarking it as new thoughts are being reported in the research domain, those become our target customers. We basically look at companies which are more than 1,000 employees, uh, because at that moment, the data that they own is a lot. And the arguments that they have during the discussion time as to, that also is a little more complex. So we are trying to now arrest the flow of information in order for them to take quicker decisions by providing an index library of ideas. And they use that. There are many features in this product which will, once you see it, makes you believe that this is the simplest way in which those ideas have been put to practical use. And you get very good explanations which have been written either by your authors or has been written by the machine, which helps to explain the benefits of those ideas, commercial benefits as well as research benefits of those ideas. So you've got NASA. We worked with them on a topic of exoplanets. Research documents were uploaded. Very good extracted ideas. We've got a testimony which is recorded. I can share it with you. Exoplanets is about finding planets in other universes other than the Milky Way. And there are ways in which the research makes them identify those planets faster. And I think the reason why they are identifying planets is because they want to find the planet which has life in it, like Earth. So various objectives when we look at a disease, the myopathy, there were 25 different research papers gathered from over thousands of research papers, and we went into Gate Research, PubMed. We looked at many libraries, but the way the extracted ideas pulled out the paper on the HSPB8, which is a new disease, has been identified somewhere around 2000. The way that educated even the best of the scientific mind, we got credit for it. The same goes for Cosmos Innovation, who are coming out with the next gen semiconductor technologies. And if you look at Caterpillar and Hitachi, it tells you where research work would go in the future, because mining, like retail, has very little margins. And Caterpillar uses a product, it's a supply chain optimization product called Data Miner, which has issues. The logbooks have a lot of analysts have been put all around the world in various mining industry to kind of find out how to get even a 1% increase in the yield which translates to millions of dollars in terms of revenues for them. But the issue is it's all very manual analytics and just statistical analytics without taking an API from these data miner tools, without looking into the comments of what the heavy equipment drivers are relating, making that practice of writing good comments for them so that we can get in a great idea of indexed ideas for productivity. All of that is the next leg of where research work would go. And naturally, it shows you also the kind of partnerships that we would seek once the product is ready. I'm not going to talk too much. This is the second app. We developed it for a company called Guppy Theater. You can see the video app. It's the same concept of how ideas extracted from fairy tales are resulting into new fairy tales being created with imaging. And it kinds of captures the audience in the age group of 6 to 10, because those are the ones who are learning how to create stories. It follows the process by which good stories are written. This product is also, we have done our part of it, the front end, the integration with iOS and Android devices going on. But overall, I think the reason why I like this app is it makes people and their parents, it makes children and their parents in the age group of 6 to 10 at least know that Nowigence is the back end on which this product works. So I think I see the benefit of trying to be in the minds of the audience at a very early time, like Google is a utility which people use from the age of 6 till the time that they die. So we are also trying to map out the same thing where people use a story compiling app, and then as they move to their middle school and high school, there is a lot of research that they have to do, they have to study. We become a kind of a tool for them. And as they come out from it and they go into the industry, then we look into how do we take those indexed ideas which are there within a corporation and keep surfacing it up whenever they are thinking along the lines of how to improve their company's profitability. So we become a utility till the time that they retire. The revenue model I've already explained. I'm not going to go into it. It's mostly pay on usage or fixed price, but you can see that we've been growing slowly. Also, we are constrained from a capital perspective. So from that perspective, we've got some good Global 500 logos who have helped to chart this growth path for us. Last year, we finished close to about $770,000 with a small operating loss. So we are not a major cash burning company. We try to manage with the cash that we have. What are we seeking over here? We are seeking a 6 months working capital. It's a 1.5 million bridge financing. We are actually uplisting from OTCQB to NASDAQ. We are in discussions with NASDAQ regarding our uplisting process. But if you do look at the 1.5 billion bridge financing, then that's valued on a public market. It's on a pre-listing valuation of 25 million. The minimum investment is about 25,000. You get the Class A common stock, and there could be a mix. There could be, if you're looking for some kind of a larger control, there are various ways that we can work it through, but we do need strong investment partners for our next leg of investment, or our next leg where not only are we going to be public listing, but we are looking at various M&As. We are having an opportunity also where we either stay independent or we merge with a company which is a larger company, knowing the public market much better than what we do. So this is what is the kind of, this is what we bring to you and what you can bring for us. We've got 2 AI apps. We've got a custom AI development, and we've got a track record where we know what we are talking about, skilled with some AI people who've been with us for about 3 to 5 years. We are looking for scale-up funding. We have a very low cash investment. We've invested so far on less than $4.5 million to get us to where we are. So we've been very conscious about our cash investment. We can provide significant returns, and if we get the marketing dollars to sell the apps, to scale up our infrastructure, it's a significant capital gains for any investors coming in. We're early in our public listing. AI is an emerging field. There are some challenges, but AI is not going to go away. The infrastructure investments also tell you that AI is there for a long time to stay. But with this early public listing, if we get the right partners, we need strong market makers who can give us, who can support us, who can sell us in the market, where allowing us some time to introduce the products into the market. So we are looking for a partnership. We can offer a strong equity position if you do extend your hand. This is the use of funds over the next 6 months. A part of this funding will be going to uplist. We have to pay the NASDAQ membership fee very soon. But most of it would be going in promotions, either investment relation or even product promotion. And part of it would also be going into broadening our team. This is the organization structure. I was in GE and I saw the early days of globalization. I was moved to Europe, and at that time, there was no internet. Information was very tough to get. We solved that problem, but we now are living in an era where there is just too much of information. And again, generative AI, if you all are in that field, you know that you do not access information which is more than 1.5, 2 years ago. There's a reason for doing that. A lot of synthetic data is being created by Gen AI. Hallucination is increasing. So you kind of evaluate what our strategy is, where we say, hey, focus on extractive AI. Get the right quality on the idea and the indexing and the presentation of the idea. You can always compile a prose using LLMs restricted to the ideas that were extracted at that time. The rest, we have a team over here. And this is where, when I started with, I said, there are many challenges in AI. But what is it for a company like us to continue pursuing AI? Ray Kurzweil, he's German, is from MIT, and he wrote a book in 2004 where he made predictions for the 2030. It's a great book to read. It has all about nanotechnology, AI, blockchain, and you can put yourself in 2005 as to how much aware were we of these types of industry and what would they do in the 2030s. So with his vision, he did speak about human machines integration through brain-computer interfaces, but he did mention that AI surpasses human intelligence by 2029, which a lot of people in the field of AI also believe that is within grasp. This is quite going to be an accurate prediction. What is our viewpoint on it? So we do not know whether the BCIs are going to be coming in the 2030s or no, but we know that we are improving with driverless driving. The quantum computing chips which are improving the decision making of almost becoming better than the human's decision making while driving or navigating in space. That augmented intelligence is getting into a stage where we are allowing those decisions to be given to machines. So you can see that this could become a reality, but I think for our presentation, AI is a necessity because the world's population is declining, the population is aging, but we need to keep the world running, and for which we need AI. And again, like I said in the beginning, there may be challenges, but the world always has very good engineering talent. At some point, those problems will go away, but this could be the right opportunity for you to take an early investment and see the growth that is going to come within the next 12 months. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Adoop. I'm going to have you stop sharing your screen and we will get into some of the questions that have come in. You had talked about affordability by using smaller models over LLMs when effective. Could you provide some examples where smaller models were sufficient and situations where LLMs remain essential?
Right. So if you go into the cost of operating a GPU currently is between $2 to $3, uh, per query. So when you look at OpenAI, the LLM modules, they themselves are struggling from a profitability because the more questions you ask, the more they're trying to get answers, and they do not access the last 1.5 years of data. The reason is because if they start exploring the most recent data to bring it into your answers, they would need to use GPUs, and that's a cost-effective way of doing it. So where do the small native languages like us come in? We are saying we don't need to generate any ideas. We are actually extracting from your yesterday's paper. We basically have a way in which we classify an idea and we index it to which category, to which subject, to which topic this idea belongs to. And then we have a certain way in which a template has been adopted where we are explaining the idea, how it is being used by you internally in your company, as well as external uh, parameters that we are evaluating. We're bringing it forward. This is from your internal documentation. This is from your external documentation. So for us, we use the GPUs to do the extraction of yesterday's literature that was born for you. But once it is indexed, it goes into a CPU. Subsequent to that, your cost of operation is less. So we are trying to basically make sure that you get the very recent at the most cost optimized point.
Thank you. With 80 to 90% of enterprise data being unstructured, how does someone like researchwork.ai handle multi-model content such as images, tables, and audio transcript, anything beyond text?
We have developed the mechanism to read tables, images, and text from documents. And we have, like we say, every company has its proprietary way of looking into what's an idea. And we've also looked as what an idea to extract those ideas and index it in very meaningful, presentable manner where it is simple for the audience to understand it. So in that case, we are kind of complete, but we still face complications like, when we were reading just recently, last week, when we were reading a PDF paper which has 3 columns of information rather than 2, then we found that the PDF reader that we had selected is not working very well with a 3-column paper. And we have to make those kind of tweaks as we go up in usage. So it's a constant endeavor to experience a shortcoming, but then have a quick way to react to it to solve it.
Thank you. So this sector is expanding rapidly. How do you distinguish yourself from specialized competitors, whether general or niche AI players?
I think in 2022, when the large LLMs introduced their models and it came with the OpenAI, the GPT-4, there became a we experienced a pushback from the industry at that time because they wanted to evaluate the LLM modules. just because they were new. And I think even if you look at, our minds sometimes do not recall the timestamps, but basically OpenAI, the GPT-3, GPT-4 was launched only as of the summer of 2023, not more than 2 years ago. And a lot of models are coming up. But a lot of people not in the field of AI do not understand that if you take the same prompt, suppose I'm looking at a prompt which says, hey, find me PR companies around New York. It's a simple prompt. I take it, I put it into an OF4, which is a GPT module, or I put it into a GPT-4, which is a GPT, or I put it into Llama Cloud, whichever one. I'm going to get different answers from these models. So the problem then becomes, and if I click on those answers are from 1 year to 1.5 year behind in time because they cannot process the most recent answers. So they have given me a summary, and if I click through that summary also, you will find that even the links are hallucinated, the content is hallucinated. So at least the world is now arising or is knowledgeable about the problems that the large language models are bringing in, and they're looking at us and saying, we've got a value proposition which says, hey, block hallucination right at the beginning. Just extract ideas and tell me, what am I searching? What are my answers? I don't need good prose at this moment. All I need is answers.
Can you discuss your patent portfolio? What measures do you take to ensure customer data privacy and prevent IP leakage?
So we actually, once the client gains access to the product, we become almost like Salesforce, where we do not have any algorithms developed and the customer can audit it also, that we do not know what the questions they're asking. And especially when we are looking in the area of research where they may upload their own library of unique ideas, we have no way. They can only communicate to us based on issues and raising tickets, and we can optimize the product. They can take us into confidence. We can look into what the issue is and improve the product for them, but that's it. We don't get to see what they're doing.
Thank you. What is your use of proceeds on the bridge? And can you talk about how much you expect to raise on the NASDAQ uplisting? And what are your key milestones that you need to qualify?
Right. So, in my benchmark, and I could be wrong, there's so many companies coming up every day. But if I look at a company which, like Copy AI, it in its very first funding round, Series A received close to about $14 million of funding. And we have come to this point with a little under $4.5 million of funding. So what are we looking for over the next, between the bridge finance, which we say is a $1.5 million, which helps us to kind of get 6 months of working capital, the next funding round is going to be through investment bankers hedged to the public listing price. And at that moment, we would be looking for a minimum of $10 million. You cannot start an AI company in less than $15 million of funding. That is our benchmark. We are very cost conservative. We are very conscious of the way we spend. If we get the right partners at this stage, we believe we can do very well in terms of growth.
And what early traction or use cases show that it's ready to scale at early seed stage from here?
So we talk about, we are very app focused. We don't want to talk about concepts at this stage. So we definitely have an app which we developed first, which was for a customer, and they paid for us to develop the product. That app is getting ready to launch. So people can see all the different aspects of machine learning and NLP that we incorporated into how do we extract ideas from fairy tales. Now, that entire concept is what we are bringing into researchwork.ai, which is our own app, And we are also reading multiple documents in different domains in order to index all the ideas, unique ideas that they form. That's the second app that they can evaluate. Both these apps are at their 80 to 90% completion. And if we pool in, if we get the investments, the idea is to scale up much more faster than the way we've been limping to it.
And can you elaborate on your go-to-market strategy, direct enterprise sales versus partnerships, integrations with ecosystems, ERP, CRMs, cloud providers? How do you scale without inflating sales costs?
So we are looking at a B2B strategy for both the products. We don't own Guppy, but we do have marketing rights for North America and South America for it. So a kind of a core marketing, right? So we don't have too much of a risk exposure in terms of that app. But for research work, if I was to look at it, it's basically looking first at a company with 1,000 people or more, who have which gives us enough data for them to kind of put it into research work and see how the indexing of ideas comes through, how the benefit of doing it, what does the administrator see, how the users see. So this view would be available in the month of July, and they take it from there as to which functions can adopt research work to provide the benefits of indexed ideas. Essentially subsequent to that, so our entire sales initially is, hey, we've developed these apps, check it. If you like it, we can either develop a new app for you or you use these products in your industry. Then the second thing comes that, hey, we could be developing apps where the infrastructure products like Caterpillar's data miner. Salesforce itself is living on an old legacy system. So, we could look into some of these where we say, hey, we could partner with you. These are your shortcomings. We know it from your users. We can solve the problem at a couple of your users, mining industry. And if we do solve it, would you work with us and take us your partner? If we become become an OEM partner to them, then naturally their sales increases. And I think NVIDIA is also looking for partnerships. The idea of going towards continuous improvement has also led us to a couple of more partners. So we are tying up with companies in that area where they need our technology, but they've got a marketing developed to kind of form those partnerships.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, that concludes. Oh, I think we have one more question here. Time frame to convert into task manager and output and TriStar settings.
I don't understand the question.
No, I don't either. So I apologize. I'm just reading it. And for the person asking, so everyone out there has my email address. Email me if you have additional questions. I can put you in touch with the team at Nowigence. And in turn, they will have all of your information as well. So they will be reaching out. And I want to turn it back over to you, Anoop, for any final final comments before we close out today.
Overall, I have stayed in this AI. We started investing in 2018, much before the LLM models came in. And we started investing based on the first few research papers that was built on NLP and machine learning with a group of data scientists from MIT, Princeton, and UAlbany. The field has changed and the field will change. I think there is quantum computing also coming, where a lot of these privacy aspects also get taken care of. But given where the world is, given what I know, and I've been an engineer all my life long, AI is one technology that has the promise of delivering more than 65% productivity, which no other previous technology has ever provided. And that is, and we've seen it. We've seen it that if we do train the machine very well, we are able to get very good outputs. The adoption rate may be slow because of all the hype that the industry is going in, but this hype will settle down by the end of 2025. We had an election in 2024. We are seeing some of, there could be some slowdown in the field over the last 6-8 months. But given where human civilization is, given a declining birth rate, given the changes that we demand to take the world civilization to the next frontier, which could be in blockchain, space exploration, anything, you are living these transition days. And if you haven't taken an AI investment, look at whichever company which is offering a generic solution, not a niche solution, because you can't have vendor complexity. You can't go into business and say, I have 50,000 vendors, each of them trying to solve one little problem of yours. Please give your order to us. No business is going to do that. So and no generic LLM is also going to be taking that business. So there is going to be some intermediate player. It could be us, where we basically help solve the complex business problems and become the vendor of choice over there.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you to the audience. And I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you.